The links.
Hello, welcome to another Senior Bowl live stream. It's me, Liam Blutman, out here with our guy Andrew Wilson, who's down there in Mobile, Alabama, covering the Senior Bowl. Very fun event. How was your day, man?
It was something. It was definitely something for sure. I mean, seeing that this is my first event for anything, kind of lost at some points, but glad we got to get through it. Great event. First off, shout out to the Senior Bowl staff. They were very helpful, very amazing. Helped everyone get to where they needed to be, and they also kind of let people roam. Like you can go from one side of the field to the other, no questions asked. It's very nice, very easy. And great event today.
Yeah, I mean, you had a jam-packed day, to say the least. You got in there a few days ago, but today you finally got to see some people play football. I know, it's crazy. After a few days down there for a football event, you finally got to see football unfold right in front of your eyes. You want to kind of tell us about that? Maybe some guys that impressed you, didn't impress you. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I think with any draft event, you have to start with the quarterbacks. So first, we see the group. We see the group of Strong, Pickett, and Ritter. And I literally have in my notes two things about Strong. Strong's knee is not a problem. I don't want to hear anything about it for the rest of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not a problem. Literally, the first snap I saw him take, it was a play action rollout, and he looked perfect. So that's not a problem.
You don't say.
We should not focus on his limited mobility anymore. Next, he has a great arm. He had a few overthrows today. He had a few bad overthrows today. There was one I remember in particularly. Christian Watson kills his defender, and he's just gone on a streak, and Carson overthrows it. You can't miss those. You can't miss those. I'd rather you overthrow it than underthrow it, because underthrow can be picked. But those are throws you have to make. Had a few of those. So at the start, he was playing amazing. Later, we got the more throws were kind of He did have one to finish the day that was really good. Off to the next quarterback, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett had a good day. I mean, I don't know. Everything right now about Kenny Pickett just seems to be bad his hands. Like, I'm not the biggest proprietor of, or however you say that word, I'm not the biggest, hands are all that matters, but I couldn't stop looking at them because they look small.
Really?
Like from the stands, they look small. I don't know what it is, but he had a good day. He had a few bad throws, but he also had a few very good throws. I don't really think today affected his stock. I think today was really just kind of getting everyone back in the groove, getting ready for next few practices, and then the game on Saturday. And then let's go to Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter, who thankfully is okay after a scary injury scare, after Trevor Penning threw.
Injury scare.
Yeah, it was a scary injury scare. It was double scare.
Did not look good over on Twitter.
Oh, brother. So for those who didn't see the clip, Trevor Penning playing left tackle on that snap, he throws his defender into the knees of Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter falls, and we all think he's injured. Luckily, he gets up, but that was a scary event. But outside of that, Ritter was bad today. He was really bad. There were a lot of inconsistencies in his play. There were a lot of plays where you're thinking, okay, well, that's a good ball, but is that really the right decision? I don't know. Ritter was not good today. He was the worst quarterback I saw today, which kind of confirms what we've all been believing for a little bit now. But there were some plays that made you think, Okay, I understand he went to the college football playoff. He was the reason his team went to the college football playoff.
No,
Like that was the defense and a player that showed out today, Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford was great today. I think he was the best running back today. Like out of both teams, I think he was the best running back. But back to Ritter, I think today, if he plays like this for the rest of the practices and the games, you can't take him earlier than round 3 or 4. He just doesn't have the consistency that you want out of an NFL quarterback. He has some good throws, but everybody has some good throws. But what you don't want is those really weird plays where he's not planting his feet or he is just overthrowing a ball by 15 yards or there's miscommunication between him and the receiver. That stuff is what messes me up about Desmond Ritter. And then we'll go to the next group of Howell, Willis, and Zappe. To be honest, none of them stood out today. Like Howell had a few good throws. Malik had some amazing throws, but he also had some horrendous throws. And then Zappe was kind of the same as Howell. He had some good throws. He had some bad throws. I remember a few underthrows from him, but nothing much to report on those three. I think we'll see more out of Howell tomorrow. But, I mean, if Willis can get those bad throws off the board and start getting more of those good throws out, I think he's QB1. He displays the athleticism, and he has that beautiful deep ball. When I tell you, there were a few of those deep balls today, right sideline on the Lions side. Oh my gosh! I tried to get a video of a few of them, but because it's on the opposite sideline, I couldn't get a great angle. But yeah, neither of those quarterbacks really showed out. This was more about the defense during that practice.
I'll put you on the spot right now. Rank them 1 through 6 after today.
Are we going off of just these practices
just strictly? No, go for the draft. 1 through 6.
One
from
one
what
Willis.
You already know to what you saw today. Yeah.
1 Willis. 2 is a really tough spot because I still think Pickett, but there's that part of me that really likes what I can get out of Sam Howell. There's that part of me that really likes what I can get out of Carson Strong. I don't think it's Matt Corral, and I definitely don't think it's Desmond Ritter. Actually, we're not even talking about Matt Corral. We're talking about Bailey Zappe. If we're talking about the 6 that played today.
Yeah, just the 6 today.
I'll go 2 Pickett, 3. I'll go 3 Strong, 4 Howell, 5 Zappe, 6 Ritter.
Gotcha. And something that Eric Edholm pointed out was in these, like, the first day of practice at Senior Bowl, you do have to consider all the different variables. They're learning new playbooks. They're learning all this new stuff. They're with a bunch of unfamiliar talent. Some guys obviously have their guys there. Ritter has Pearson and Ford. Strong has Dubs and Turner. But for the most part, they're with a lot of unfamiliar faces. It does take a while to set in and get your feet wet and get gelled with everybody. So these next few days are super important. Like you said, Carson can't be making those overthrows day after day. He's got to just settle in, make those throws tomorrow, and it'll all be chilling. Desmond Ritter can't be making the mistakes he made today. I think, I don't know. I mean, neither of us are really high on him, but you don't want to see him just bomb it, right? At least have a solid week. And I don't know. There was a lot of good stuff that happened today. There was a lot of really good players that were picking up so much buzz. One of them being Jermaine Johnson of Florida State, who was arguably the best player there. People are saying, what can you say about Jermaine?
Explosive. That's kind of the one word you have to use. He had a few of those reps one-on-one where it just looks like he's in a different atmosphere. Like it looks like he is already in the NFL and he's trying to train these college tackles. That's how explosive he looks. He's just beating them quite easily. I remember there was one rep at the end. that everyone was just like they were doing like a best of 3, and my gosh, I was standing next to somebody, and we were just like both in awe of that last rep between. It was one of the Kentucky tackles.
It was
might have been
Kennard.
Kennard. Yeah,
It was.
That was just such a good rep. If we see more of that, I think we're definitely looking first round potential for Jermaine.
I mean, he had in those best of 3 at home posted a clip. He had a disgusting spin move. It was super clean, super crisp. I'm really excited to actually be able to watch him at the Senior Bowl tomorrow, since I was unable to today because it wasn't on TV. But that's whatever, I guess. But so many people had good days. Who's somebody that you think had a really good day that maybe isn't getting talked about enough?
There's a few. I need to double check his name because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't fully aware of him. UConn defensive tackle Travis Jones. Whoa. I wasn't expecting it. I was watching some of the lineman snaps from the side because I was also kind of focused on the wide receivers because I loved the national wide receivers. Oh, whoa. I didn't expect it. I knew I would get like the Boye Mafe off the edge, Logan Hall. I didn't expect it. So just seeing him succeed, nice to see a name that I haven't really seen much of do well. Another one, Trey McBride. We talk him up a lot. We don't talk him up enough. Trey McBride, amazing.
We gotta talk him up more.
What?
We have to talk him up even more. Holy.
Yes. Not only is he a stellar receiver, but within the first 5 minutes, you could tell this guy wants to block. And in today's NFL, you want tight ends that can block. Not going to make a comparison between the two. Look at George Kittle. He is one of, if not the best blocking tight ends. And he's also a great receiver. Not going to make the comparison, just say that they both love to receive and block. Yeah, let's see who else I have on here. Jerome Ford, we've already talked about. Displaying more receiving skill was very nice to see. Another guy we talk up a lot, Khalil Shakir. He might be a top 5 receiver.
Of course.
He really might be a top 5 receiver.
Too. That's a big statement in this class.
That's a big statement, and I'm going to make it. He might be a top 5 receiver. He is so smooth off the line of scrimmage. He's a good separator. He's got very reliable hands. He's impossible to take down in the open field. And even if he can't fully separate away from his defender, he's still going to find a way to get the ball. If Khalil Shakir isn't one of the first 5 receivers taken, he's going to be the best value pick in this draft. I would consider him value in late round 2. That's how good he is.
Love to hear it.
Outside of that, Rashad White, running back of Arizona State, who last night I said I haven't watched a lot of him. Today I saw a lot of him, and he was making plays. I feel like we're not giving this running back class enough credit. Just because the top guys aren't, Travis Etienne and Najee Harris, doesn't make them bad. They're still good. You just got to look a little bit later in the draft. We're not gonna have 2 first round.
Look at the other guys.
Yeah, just because they don't go to Alabama and Clemson. I mean, Arizona State. I like a kid from Oregon. I guess it's not a kid. He's a lot older than me. Man,
the MVC puts out some good talent at running back. All I'm saying.
They do. I like the Cincy running back in Jerome Ford.
Speaking of Cincy, can we talk about the corners? Because our guy Adam with the transfer portal, heard Kobe Bryant was excellent, and I know he was. I know there's some other corners that really showed out today. So you want to go into Kobe Bryant and some other of these CVs?
I think Kobe Bryant might have been the best corner today that I saw. He just doesn't give up on plays. Even if he loses a step, he's going to get it back. He's very physical. He doesn't want to let you past him. He was very, very good today. That's all I can really say because it has only been one day, but he had a very good practice. Now, the corner I wanted to kind of touch on, Tariq Castro-Fields, he was actually very surprising. I think we all kind of expected him to do well, but he played phenomenal, in my opinion. I think he played very well. If he can keep this up next 2 days in game, we're going to hear a lot more of his name out of Penn State. Looking at the other DBs, the Baylor defensive backs played amazing. Jalen Petrie and JT Woods were two of the best today. I mean, Petrie, I remember vividly, he had to play, I think he starts in the hook and he just sprints out to the flat to stop a RB run or to a swing pass. And he just, my gosh, he's so good. He has the great closing speed you want out of somebody that's playing that close to the line of scrimmage. And then JT Woods, he also had a great playing as a deep safety. Just a great day for Baylor because Abram Smith also had a few good snaps.
Yeah, I mean, you love to hear that. Those Baylor DBs are nasty. I'm a huge fan of JT Woods. Can't wait to see what he does the rest of this week. You spoke about Tariq Castro-Fields. What about guy I'm a big fan of, Tariq Woolen, the corner, former wide receiver from UTSA. We talked about him a decent bit last night. How'd he look today?
He looks pretty good. There were very few DBs that didn't look good today. I mean, I'm looking at the national team because that was the team I was looking more forward to because I love this team. There wasn't a DB that played bad. I mean, Damari Mathis had a few good snaps out of Pitt. Jalen Watson had some out of Wazoo. Gregory Jr. from Wichita Baptist. Kirby Joseph, who I put as one of my risers. Kirby Joseph played amazing today. And then I know a guy Joshua Williams out of Fayetteville State. He had an insane rep today that it was so good that the quarterback didn't even throw it. Like it's just one read for the quarterback. He's just got to know when to throw it, and he just couldn't throw it. It was that good of coverage from Joshua Williams. I'm pretty sure it was on Romeo Dubs.
It was on Romeo, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Who, by the way, why the heck are you giving him punt return? Why? Like whoever's
he did it at Nevada.
The problem is he muffed like 3.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain players that I look at and I'm on my punt return team, and he's just one of them. But yeah, hopefully he could bounce back because I know it wasn't a great day for Romeo.
I wouldn't say it wasn't a good day. He looked good as a receiver. I think he just needs to, get back in the groove of things because Nevada, hasn't played in a while. But I think Dubs is fine. Just don't let him return punts. You know who looked good as a punt returner? Khalil Shakir.
Oh, don't say.
I mean, what can't he do? What can't he do? He looked great wherever he was today. But yeah, I really do think that Romeo's going to be fine. I'll just leave it at that. He'll be fine as long as you don't put him. And also, I will say, I think like 2 of those muffs, the sun was in his face because he was covering it, and they were facing the sun at that point. So he's covering it, trying to catch it with one hand. You're just setting him up for failure at that point.
Gotcha. Again, if you're in the chat watching this, please, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, it doesn't allow us to show comments from Twitter. I don't know why, but Twitch or YouTube, just comment something that you want us to talk about or something you were impressed by at Senior Bowl Day, whatever it be. NFL draft stuff, team needs, we'll get into a little down the road. I want to go to the linebacker group. Look at the national team right now. Your guy, Troy Anderson, Sterling Weatherford making the transition to linebacker, and Chad Muma. How did those 3 look? How'd some of the other linebackers look?
Chad Muma looked really good all day. I love some of the coverage snaps he played. They have the drill where you're essentially a linebacker just playing coverage and you're just waiting for a ball to be thrown your way. I don't think he ever dropped one. Looked great. Sterling Weatherford was interesting because he was starting as a linebacker, but he started running deep. So I don't know if they wanted him like as a safety that's playing in the box or an actual linebacker, because he always ended up 25 yards downfield. There were a few good plays from him that were closer to the line of scrimmage, but I don't know about what they're trying to get out of him. If they're saying he's a
They got him
linebacker,
like
but then
Deion Buchanan kind of role.
kind of. And then Brian Asamoah out of Oklahoma, he started kind of rough. There were a lot of overcommitments I saw on tackles, which led to broken tackles and what would have been touchdowns. But he finished the day pretty strong. And then I honestly didn't see Troy Anderson too much. I think from what I did see of him, he was good in coverage. But outside of that, I honestly didn't see him too much.
Hope he can bounce back tomorrow. How about going to the American linebackers? Damone Clark. You were really looking forward to watching him play.
Tackling machine. That's what he is. He was always getting right in it. And this linebacker for the American team, it's once again, I feel like the national team is just stacked. I feel like they have a decent amount of the good linebackers. American, they honestly don't even have a lot of linebackers. It looks like they only have 5, and the Nationals got 8 or 9. So
yeah, that's so weird.
I mean, I understand it because that means that the Jets want to see more linebackers than the Lions, which I don't know how much sense that makes. But yeah, the American, there are a few very good players on the American, but the national team is just stacked.
Well, speaking about stacked tight ends, you kind of glossed over Trey McBride earlier. There's some other absolute dudes out there. I feel like every tight end that is at the Senior Bowl is a stud. Jeremy Rucker had a really good day. Isaiah Likely was putting dudes on their back too in the blocking game. Likely's a stud. The tight ends are excellent. Tell us about the tight ends. Did one of them not really play up to their expectations, or who was the star? Well, the star was McBride, but
the star was McBride, but Isaiah Likely was also a star for the American. He was kind of the premier pass catcher in that group. I think we also saw a decent amount of Grant Calcaterra from SMU. But going back to the national team, who had a good day was Charlie Kohler from Iowa State. He actually looked pretty good. He wasn't getting a ton of separation, but he was making those catches even with a linebacker on him. Cole Turner didn't really have a very good day. There were definitely some throws that he should have caught. But, sometimes that happens. Hopefully he has a better day tomorrow. Jeremy Rucker had a great day. I think he was a good receiver. And then Jake Ferguson had he was just kind of there. He had a few catches, a few drops, kind of the way it goes. But the star of the tight end group in the Senior Bowl is definitely Trey McBride, who should be a first-round pick.
So would you rank it McBride, Likely, Kohler?
Of the Senior Bowl?
Senior Bowl? Yeah.
Let me double check the American. Yeah, I probably would. I think Kohler had a really good day.
And I heard Jeremy Rucker was playing pretty well.
Yeah.
How'd he look?
He would probably be the fourth one, if I had to guess.
Interesting. Let's take a break from talking about position groups. You were at the summit tonight. That was a big thing with Nick Saban there and some other coaches. A lot of other people were there, I'm sure. Can you talk to us about the summit?
The summit was freaking amazing. This theater in downtown Mobile, which, by the way, looks really nice. You go in, staff was very helpful. You get to your seat and you see Joey Molinaro come out doing his Nick Saban impression, does Coach O. He does the Chris Collinsworth. Gotta love those impressions. Joey Molinaro is
That was a
freaking
terrible
hilarious.
attempt at a slide by me. Holy, that was terrible.
And here's a guy. All right, that was my awful attempt, but
No,
he
it
was
wasn't awful.
Joey was amazing. He did I don't know if you want to say interview, but he discussed with why am I forgetting their names? Robert Saleh and Dan Campbell, both very high personality guys, especially Dan Campbell. He was hilarious. He was talking about how he was, grabbing hay because he grew up in the country, and then Joey made some comment about, did you just throw hay? And then Dan was just like, you don't throw hay for no reason. I'm not as dumb as I look, which got everybody laughing. And then the GOAT, Kirk Herbstreit, comes out, interviews James Franklin and Steve Sarkisian because Mel Tucker got snowed in Michigan, so that sucks. But
That's
then
tough.
a lot of what the coaches were talking about, the college coaches, were mainly NIL, transfer portal, how parents should deal with, their kid being a student athlete. It was a lot of good information, but you also got to see the career backgrounds more. Like you saw Nick Saban talking more about his time at Michigan State, his time as a DC in the NFL. You saw Brian Harsin talking about his time at Boise State and his time with Mac Brown. It was very interesting. Definitely worth the admission. It was an amazing event.
Sounds really cool. Glad you got to experience that. Let's go back to talking about position groups and going to the offensive line. I know Trevor Penning was playing multiple positions on the offensive line. You talked about he was playing right guard too. Talk to us about our guy Trevor Penning.
I don't know what happened today. Like he had some amazing snaps. He also had some putrid ones. Like he had a few left tackle snaps. Obviously, we already talked about the Ritter, but then he also had some snaps where he just kind of like, why are they playing him at right guard? That doesn't make sense. He's one of the premier tackles in this draft, and why are you playing him as a right guard? Like Falele, who had questions coming into the Senior Bowl about is he a guard or a tackle, which makes no freaking sense. He didn't play guard once today that I saw. He only played right tackle, and he was pretty good at right tackle. Trevor Penning played left tackle. I'm pretty sure he played right tackle too. He also played right guard. It doesn't make sense why you're moving him when he was that good at tackle. I don't know if it's because of the incident that almost happened with Ritter, but if that is the reason, that's a pretty stupid reason.
Gotcha. I think maybe they're just looking for more versatility from people that they're maybe more sure of, because I know Zion Johnson was playing center, and that's not a position he's been playing. There were some maybe mishap snaps with him and Strong at points. How'd Zion look? Because I'm a big fan of his. Love his versatility. Him showcasing the center position really adds to his skill set and makes him an even more intriguing prospect.
I definitely think he can play center. I think he looked good as a blocker. If he can fix the snaps, he'll be set as a center. If he wants to play center over guard, I'm not opposed. But with the snaps, there were definitely a few snaps between him and Carson Strong that were less than ideal. I don't know if the ball didn't make it that far when they were under center or if there was just some mishandling. I don't know. But if he can shore that up, he'll be a good center.
Gotcha. Going over to the American offensive lineman, who stood out to you there?
I mean, Darian Kennard had a great day. Outside of him, you saw more defensive line highlights than offensive line. That's kind of my thing. Kingsley had a good day. I saw Fedarian had a few good reps. Obviously, we already talked about Jermaine Johnson. But, yeah, this is another place where you see a big gap between the National and the American, because the National has – I'm gonna count real quick. They have Trevor Penning, Falele, Raymond. That's 3 potential, if not really close to first-round picks on the offensive line. American has Darian Kennard, who could That's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to say that they're bad, because
so much deeper on the national team too, because you still have Cole Strange, you have Marquise Hayes, you have.
Oh, you also have Zion Johnson. I didn't even say him. He's a potential first.
I thought you said Zion. Okay, so you have Zion too. Like it's just a talent. The difference is nuts.
I don't know what is going on with this, because it almost seems like the national team was made to be better, because they realistically have the better DBs. I think Alontae Taylor on the American team looked good. He had some good moments. Cam Taylor-Britt also had some good moments, but he also had a time where he looked hurt. I don't know about the severity. He just was limping a little, so hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully just a cramp. D-line, you can probably give that to the American. I mean, the national has Boye Mafe, Logan Hall, Perrion Winfrey. Yeah, I'd probably give D-line to the American. Linebackers, you're definitely giving to the national. I mean, basically just because of Troy Anderson. O-line, definitely giving to the national. Quarterbacks, I mean, you've got out of these six, you've got my 6, 2, and 3. So I think that evens out to be better than 1, 4, 5. If my math is correct, which it probably isn't. Yeah.
Dude, my math's the one that's not right. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know I shouldn't be asking for your math expertise. Running backs, you got to give to the national just because of Rashad White and Jerome Ford. I didn't really see any of Hassan Haskins today. Tyler Beatty had a few good snaps. He had a good flat route to the right side and hit that for 15 yards. I think he broke a tackle on that too, but Abram Smith, definitely give running backs to the national. I mean, American, Dameon Pierce had a few good snaps. Brian Robinson had a few good snaps. Zaquandre White had a really good run, but more consistency from the national. Tight ends, obviously national. Wide receivers, obviously national.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it probably all weekend was that one team just looked straight up better than the other. JRA, the Lions are coaching the American, and the Jets are coaching the national team. The national team is the better team.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's really weird that there's this much of a talent gap, because you could tell the national team looked more fired up. They looked more energized. With the American, outside of the one-on-ones for the linemen, I mean, the passing outside of the few plays where Willis threw a great ball, kind of mediocre. You didn't see a wide receiver make a great play. You didn't see somebody, do a toe tap. You didn't see a running back, break a tackle or hit the outside. It was just, if you weren't watching the trenches, I don't know what you were watching.
And speaking of the trenches, there are some additions. One of them will be going to the American team. That's Ole Miss edge rusher Sam Williams. So the American team, you're actually adding a player. So that's cool. We'll get some more competition against that great national team offensive line play. And then Verone McKinley III, my guy, obviously not in the trenches, but versatile DB, he's going to the national team. So the rich get richer.
Yeah, the American add a player to their only positional group that they're better at than the national.
Which it's really just telling us, okay, the one team is looking for this. And one team is looking for this. We could tell who's looking at who, especially position group wise. It's clear as day.
The Jets are looking for everything besides defensive line, and the Lions only wanted defensive linemen, and they're probably not going to take one of them with the second pick that's in the Senior Bowl.
Dude, Dan Campbell's just looking for some day 2, day 3 kneecap biters. That's what's up.
I mean, Federi Mathis isn't going to be there on day 2. Jermaine Johnson's not going to be there on day 2. Kingsley might not be there on day 2.
You're very confident Federi Mathis.
Federi Mathis is one of my favorite players in this draft. And I've said that for what seems like a year now.
Yeah. You enjoyed watching him play today? You didn't really go in depth about him. Excited to hear what you saw with Fedarian today.
Had a few good wins on the one-on-ones. He had very, very active hands, which you love to see. But I mean, outside of that, like just the American practice in general was just kind of.
All right. Hopefully they bounce back tomorrow and have a more exciting day, I guess you could say. Again, if you're in the chat watching us, feel free to comment. We'll talk about it and get more in depth and everything. Ooh, that's a good question. Did today change your big board in any way? We haven't really gone official with big boards we've made, but both of us kind of have, thought. We're thinking. Our brains are working. We have thoughts about who's wearing what, and did anything change big time for you?
One day of practice doesn't affect anything for me. I got to see consistency.
Very fair. Well, I was hoping you would give like one person that like truly like that you weren't maybe expecting to have
I mean,
and really popped out to you.
I think I can really say Shakir was already high. He might be higher. Like we're getting into the discussion. If teams really want a first round wide receiver, you look at that first 5, and then after that, you're like Khalil Shakir. Like,
and we've seen Sky Moore get mocked at the end of the first round. I love Sky. If he's going at the end of the first round mocks, then Khalil can too.
I haven't seen that, and I'm glad I haven't seen that. But you see the guys like Drake London, Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson. There's a fourth one in that tier that I'm honestly blanking on right now because I am tired. But outside of that, like the top 5 consensus, it's Wilson, Burks, London,
JMO,
and
then
so say there's a team that's worried about JMO's injury. After those 3, what keeps you away from Khalil Shakir? What? I'm actually asking. Like, what keeps you away from him?
Me? You're asking me?
I mean, we talked about this yesterday. You're not strong enough to keep anyone away from anyone.
Dude, I don't know. Kind of something my friend had pointed out was his arms are kind of small, which I just don't really factor that stuff in much. I'm not going super like hyper fixating on these little things that are kind of out of people's control. Like, I don't care. He's going to be a dang good slot receiver. We talked him up all day yesterday. Not all stream yesterday, but like we talked him up so much and we keep talking him up today. This is a guy I'm taking the second round receiver. Like, it just is. He's a dang good receiver. After the catch, he is lethal. He is a surgical route runner. He knows how to get open, find the soft spots. He does everything so slow. The guy's going to make a living from the slot 100%. He's very good. I'm taking him 100%.
I think he's my favorite player in this draft.
Yo, wait, not Fedarian? Holy.
Khalil's my favorite offensive. Fedarian's my favorite defensive.
Okay. What about, did you hear anything with like Khalil and maybe teams that he was talking to or interested in him?
I didn't hear any specific teams. I did hear a few teams, not teams, but I heard a few people talking about how Khalil Shakir is severely undervalued right now, which I completely agree with. I've seen some big boards where he doesn't even hit top 100. I would easily have him in my top 50.
We laugh at that.
We laugh hysterically. We laugh so much that my throat comes out of my mouth and it's still laughing.
Okay.
The big team player combination that I got today was Daniel Falele and the New York Jets. I saw Robert Saleh. Jets. I saw Robert Saleh talking to my main guy, PJ Fleck. And I remember seeing Robert Saleh talking to him, and he was talking very vibrantly. And then he goes,
Well, that's just how he talks. That's just how Robert talks. Come on. He could have been talking about Becton.
No one reaches to the sky talking to PJ Fleck, not talking about Daniel Falele.
He could have just been saying, Mekhi Becton. Imagine Mekhi Becton and
with Daniel Falele.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That would be frightening. Golly.
Also, did you see the report today that the Jets are saying that it's a fight between Fant and Becton for left tackle?
Yeah, so if he can't stay in shape, it has to do with his weight and staying in shape. It has to. What else could it be?
How much
it's
is
not
he
even
weighing
close
in right now?
I don't know. I could talk about Jahan Dotson,
364.
who opted out. So
yeah,
Jahan Dotson opted out of the Senior Bowl after he got tested at 5'9" and was playing at a listed 5'11". So this fella right here, Jahan Dotson, said, "I'm done with y'all. You're saying I'm 2 inches shorter than I really am. I'm done with you. I'll see you at the combine."
I think we got to take a serious look into either college measurements or the Senior Bowl measurements because they don't match at all.
Oh, the college ones, you always get the scuff numbers. Like, again, as we said last night, the only numbers that, like, were the same was Cole Turner. He has added on weight. His height was the same. I think the Nevada trio, all their stuff was, like, good. But everyone else, and even going back, like, last year, Michigan lied about 40-yard dash times. I forget who it was, but they had, like, guys running 4.29s and 4.32s that had no business running that and never ran.
Didn't people say Kwity Paye was going to run a sub 4.3?
Yeah, like, that's the stuff that Michigan was feeding into people. We're not with that.
And you know what?
These measurements are legit
because of it.
Oh, that's the reason why. How about this right here from Adam? Any player interviews? And did anyone stand out? Did anyone stand out at a player interview? So, like,
the two main ones I got to were Carson and Sam Howell. Carson was a lot of people were asking him about like who he looked up to, who he models his play style after. You heard a lot of the two big names you heard were Peyton Manning and Brett Favre. So, two great players. Obviously, you don't want to throw as many. You don't want to throw as many picks as Brett Favre or rookie Peyton Manning, but two very good players to model yourself after. Obviously, he talked up Tom Brady because he did retire today. Happy retirement to the GOAT. But Howell, he was pretty humble. A lot of people were talking about the interview process with him. What 2021 was different compared to the 2020 season. And a lot of people are also asking him about wanting to play with one of his former teammates. No one in particular, but he also went into depth about how he got to see current Denver Bronco Javonte Williams play, I think, against one of the LA teams. I don't know if they played the Rams, but he said one of the LA teams. So, Denver, hello. Maybe Rodgers wants to stay in Green Bay. Maybe Carr stays in Vegas. Maybe Russ goes to the Washington Commanders. That's still a weird name.
Terrible name. Washington football team so much better.
Very, very quick side note. Can we talk about that? Washington having their name leaked is the most Washington football team thing of all time.
Yeah, everybody's name gets leaked. This stuff gets leaked all the time. I don't know. I think the most Washington organizational thing of all time is going from it's like they can't have an R-word name, obviously. Like, this is terrible. And then going to a name called the Commanders. Now you're commanding us? Come on, bro.
I saw somebody say that people that don't like them are going to call them the Washington Commies. And I laughed so hard.
They're also just non-command of anything. Come on. You're so far.
They say Commanders because they're in Washington. And it's like,
I hate that name so much. Washington football team. Washington football name. Washington.
It should have been like
the
Red Wolves or something.
No, they should have just been the Washington football team. It's funny.
No, it's not. It's awful.
Yeah, it's hilarious being called the Washington football team.
It's hilariously bad. It's like,
yeah, that's the point.
Like the name of a. It's the name of a soccer team. It would be Washington FT.
What's the point? It should have been called the Washington Footballs then, for all I cared. I'm done with you. Done.
I mean, to be fair, nothing can be worse than the New Orleans Pelicans.
You want to talk about the NBA? We're not doing that. I'm not engaging with that.
I'm talking about bad names.
I know what you're talking about. Now let's talk 2013.
Illinois Fighting Illini sucks.
Our guy Tom and JRA chiming in on the 2013 QB class, which you were a youngin' back then, weren't you?
I was 10.
You were 10. So you were not evaluating these quarterbacks. You were not evaluating these quarterbacks.
That was the EJ Manuel year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that class was awful.
So let's go in here. So, wait, Tom, are you saying the comparison for just quarterbacks, by the way, or just in general 2013?
I feel like this year is underrated for quarterbacks. I agree. I don't think we have a clear. I don't think we have a quarterback worth taking top 10, but we have 4 worth taking 11 through 30.
Okay, I found every QB in this class. Thank you. EJ Manuel to Buffalo at 16. Geno Smith 39 to the Jette. Mike Glennon 73 to Tampa Bay. Matt Barkley 98 to Philly. Ryan Nassib 110. The Giants. Tyler Wilson 112 to the Raiders. Landry Jones 115 to the Steelers. And then in the 7th round, you had Brad Sorensen to the Chargers, Zach Dysert to the Broncos, BJ Daniels to the 49ers.
I think.
Yeah, to 49ers. And then Sean Renfree was the last one, and he went to the Cardinals.
Yeah, so, if you think that the 2013 class is the same as the 2022, I apologize. There's just
which
no
is
way.
Also just wait and see mode, but like straight off the bat, the guys in 2022 are just better. Like it's just visually looking at it, they're just better players, and they're going to be picked higher, and they're not going to have. I mean, some of them are going to have bad careers, but just talent-wise,
I'm going to throw a scenario out on the board, and I want you to tell me if you think what I'm thinking. Say Spencer Rattler wins the Heisman, and he has a great season, and he enters the NFL draft. No one talks about this quarterback class ever being bad because there's not one standout. In years past, we've had the one standout. Last year was Trevor. Year before was Burrow. Year before was Murray. 2018, there wasn't one. 2017, there wasn't one. And then, what was it, 2015 or 16 was the year of Goff and Wentz? If there's a standout, no one talks about this.
I wish I could answer you with like a legit answer, but when we get to talk about the years, my brain don't work.
Oh, I'm not even talking about years. I'm talking about like coming out of college. Kyler was a stud.
Yeah.
Burrow was a stud. Lawrence was a stud. There wasn't really a consensus in 2018. You had people thinking Baker, people thinking Darnold, people thinking Rosen. People thinking Allen. No one thought Lamar number 1. And then the year.
Hey, at least I was big on Lamar.
I mean, you said he was going to win the Heisman.
And Marky Blutman didn't bet it. Thanks, man.
That's tough.
What a waste of a preseason dot. The last Heisman I accurately picked. Whoops. Let me just go back to the 2013 class too and look at players because this was your Eric Fisher, Luke Jokel year. And then you go into your Deion Jordan, your Lane Johnson, your Ziggy Ansah. Let's just start with the first 5. There's 3 tackles. There's 2 DNs. We have 2 DNs that will go in the first 5 this year. We have 2 tackles that are going to go in the first 5 this year. Ike Mekwonu, Evan Neal, Kayvon Thibodeau, Aiden Hutchinson. Now, this is kind of like common knowledge at this point, right? It's not even theories or anything anymore. It's just straight up. People are not going to pan out. There are going to be busts. It is very hard to identify the busts, but it's going to happen. So let's go with those guys. And for the sake of the 2013 thing, they're not going to all be bad, but Hutchinson would be the guy for me of those four that isn't the one that pans out. Like, I just, I don't think he has enough of a move skill set when in his pass rushing ability. I think it's all relying off of power and dominance. And we saw against Georgia when he played grown men that have families they need to feed, he got crushed. When he's going to go out there and play in the NFL against guys whose families rely on them, he's not going, like, I don't think that he's going to be dominant. I think he could be solid. I don't think he's like a star.
Hutchinson's best play in the game against Georgia wasn't even like where he was rushing the passer. He identified a screen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good play, but in the NFL, he's probably going to end up as a 3-4 end, if I had to guess. I don't really know if he has the 4-3 at the end in him. I think he's more 3-4. What do you think?
No, I would agree with you. And,
yeah,
I think Kayvon is miles better than him.
I do think Kayvon's better, and I honestly think there's a world where you can make an argument for George Karlaftis over Aiden Hutchinson, and I would make that argument.
We both do. I honestly, then you could get into Ojabo over him at some point, because Ojabo at many times looked like the better player. Sorry, Aiden, you robbed Will Anderson of going to New York for the Heisman ceremony because he wore cool eye black. That's what it was. Then you look into Jermaine Johnson, Kingsley, and Igbare. Those are guys that could even rise up and have better careers than him too. So, like, you have to identify the busts out here.
You know who had an underrated day today at the Senior Bowl? Myjai Sanders from Cincy. He had a few very good snaps.
His quickness off the edge.
What's the age thing? Because we've heard 24 and we've
pretty
heard
sure he's 24.
Okay.
Why are they saying there? I'm pretty sure he's 24 and you're pretty sure he's 24. And that's why I've been going up the ball season. They're saying that he's 24. Then he's 24. And that's a red flag for a lot of teams.
It's a red flag, but he played well today.
I'm sure he did. But then you still he's still playing against college kids secondly. He's playing against the best seniors, but you're still 24, and that's a big time red flag for a lot of teams.
Not the Seahawks. Dwayne Eskridge.
I mean, yeah, I know.
Drafted Dwayne Eskridge over many people.
Yeah, many people. Wait, I have a name in here.
Many men. With the 50 Cent.
All right, so let's go in deeper to the draft class. Barkevius Mingo goes 6. There's another linebacker and also edge guy, kind of. Jonathan Cooper at 7. Tavon Austin's going 8. D. Milner's going 9, and Chance Warmack is going 10.
I don't think
D. Milner to me. Tavon is Jacksonville.
He was on a 1 year.
To me, not. Well, yeah, okay. Sorry, man. D. Milner to me was never. Yes, Eskridge does go by D. I'll always call him Dwayne though. It's just cooler than D. Eskridge. Dwayne Eskridge way cooler. D. Milner to me was never, ever appealing to me. And then, how old was I? This 2013, so I was 15. I'm a 15-year-old Jets fan. My team just drafted D. Milner, probably the guy I had as the number 1 bust in the draft. I completely wanted to stay away from. My team drafts that. I'm not having fun. Not having fun at middle school getting picked on because my team drafted D. Milner and everyone's saying, "Oh, that's so cool." It's not cool. It's not cool. You think D. Milner is anything like, I don't know, we'll go with our CB1, Sauce Gardner? Derek Stingley is so much better than what D. Milner was coming out of college. Like, it's not even this stuff's not close. It's a different era too. It's a complete different era. But like, just looking at these names, you could get lost in the draft because a class doesn't look. You could get lost in the draft. Here's why I go off of, because your number one player on your board isn't actually the number one player. So in this class, a lot of people, it's Aiden Hutchinson's their number one guy. That's the guy they believe to be the best player in the draft. So they're basing everyone else off of Aiden Hutchinson's skill level. You're now thinking in your head, Aiden Hutchinson's the best player. Now you're watching tape on someone else, but you still have him lower than Aiden Hutchinson. It's going to continue to a point to where nobody actually looks that good to you because your best player isn't actually the best player. It's a kind of theory I have, even with the NBA, with James Wiseman and the LaMelo and Anthony Edwards class. That class was good. It didn't look good to a lot of people because James Wiseman was their number one guy and not Ant-Man or LaMelo. Sorry for going into NBA after I said 15 minutes ago I wouldn't, but I mean, there's a point to be made with putting the wrong player at number one in your big board and everyone else just doesn't look as appealing to you. That's why I'm getting at.
I completely agree, because you're blinded by your own bias that it makes everybody else look bad, and you're the only one who has to pay the repercussions.
Yeah. You look at Tavon Austin, who's the WR1 there. I mean, first off, his height was a huge issue. And look, again, it's a different era. If this is, we'll even say 2019, Tavon Austin's not going in the top 50 probably due to his height. Like, it's just, it's such a different draft era that we're in almost 10 years later, right? Compare Tavon Austin to some of the top receivers in this class. Garrett Wilson, better prospect coming out. Treylon Burks, better prospect coming out. J-Mo, better prospect coming out. Drake London, better prospect. It's just
Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, like, and then you look at the quarterback. Okay, well, the picks after are DJ Fluker, DJ Hayden, which was an extreme reach at the time by the Raiders, par for the course. Extreme reach at the time, didn't pan out. Sheldon Richardson at 13 to the Jets. That solid pick in the end. That's one of the better picks here. Star Lutulele. So back-to-back D tackles there in 13-14. You think that's happening in 2022 or in recent years where you're seeing back-to-back
I would be surprised if we saw I would be surprised if we saw two DTs in the first round.
It's a different era. It's a different era of football. Kenny Vaccaro goes 15. That was fine. That was fine, especially in that class. But EJ Manuel, QB1 at 16. First off, where we're at now, quarterback is such a more desperate. It's so much more in need right now. Teams are desperate to find quarterbacks, and quarterbacks are dropping like flies. Tampa Bay needs one. We wouldn't have thought that a month ago, 2 months ago. Like we can
know
make the argument if you were Josh Rosen,
James Winston.
My bad, Kyle Trask, Ian Book.
Yeah.
No, but like EJ Manuel, dude. Like, did you ever watch him at Florida? You were too young, but you ever watch him at Florida State and just think like, this guy's going to be a good NFL quarterback? That wasn't happening with him and Geno Smith, the top two quarterbacks in that class. My top two in this class, Carson Strong and Kenny Pickett, right? Or sorry, Malik Willis. Jeez, I look at them in college and I see so much more than what those two guys offered in 2013.
Because I think college football players are better now than they were 10 years ago.
They are, because again, we're in a different era where everybody's more athletic. Like, dudes are going to be running 3.840s in 2052. Like, it's just that's just where we're headed, right?
And people are still going to pay attention to 40-yard dashes, and then in that year, oh gosh,
you could run in a straight line. I don't care what you could do in the game. All right, Tom's asking what
the most annoying thing.
I could run 340.
Like, name the last time someone ran in a straight line with no blockers and started with their hand on the ground as if they're a track star.
Me.
Name.
Me.
I already have a cap on. So.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. But okay. So Tom's asking, what do you think appeals to you more about this class, the depth or top end talent? Oh yeah, the depth. Well, both the top end talent and the depth, because I think the top end talent here is good. I think Kayvon is a dang good player. He's my top player in the class. I'm getting even higher on Aquanu. Seeing everyone gushing over him makes me want to believe in him even more. Evan Neal's still my top tackle, though. Sauce Gardner, man, and Kyle Hamilton, your top player in the class. And these are just guys at the top. And then, what? Why are you doing that face?
Yeah, I'm going, yeah, that's my guy.
Okay. But those are guys at the top, right? And then you look at day 2 and day 3, and they're just freaks. They're just so much better. There's Jared Stearns that you're going to get on day 3. That's one of the best college football receiver seasons of all time. You're going to get my guy Pierre Strong, who's at the Shrine Bowl. Both of them are at the Shrine Bowl. You're going to get both those guys on day 3. It's just better players. It's like, I don't know.
So you named an edge rusher, a corner, a safety, and what did you name on offense? Tackle?
Yeah.
Tackle day 2, you can get Darian Kennard, you can get maybe Dan Falele, maybe Bernard Raymond. That's probably it for tackles on day 2. That would be still probably day 1 talents. I mean, edge rushers, who can you not say? Sam Williams, Kingsley Enagbare, possibly. Trevon Walker, possibly. Trevor Johnson, possibly. Corners, you've got possibly Roger McCreary, easily Kobe Bryant. I think Kobe Bryant is a early round 2 talent. Probably ends up going somewhere around 2. Tariq Woolen. And then safeties. I mean, this safety class is actually really freaking good. The more you look at it, Jalen Petrie, Verone McKinley, Jaquan Brisker, depending on what you think of him. Kirby Joseph, he's probably going to end up either round 3 or early day 4. He's going to be a great player.
Mm-hmm. You have, I mean, golly, man. It's crazy how much talent there is. And I don't know. I don't even know why. I was going to say something, but forgot what I was going to say.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Matt O'Reilly's a day 2 pick. Did Mike Mayock sneak back into the Vegas team?
It's the Vegas team.
Yeah, he's actually
the Las Vegas football team.
No, it's the Las Vegas Commies.
Oh,
you're gonna hear that joke so many times, and I'm gonna laugh every time I see it.
Probably will. 2013. Your WR2 was DeAndre Hopkins at 27, who great career, but he got traded for David Johnson.
The shout out Bill O'Brien for being an awful NFL GM, which actually got him out of Houston and then went to Alabama. And I assume he's still at Alabama right now.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Sorry. Also, Matt Elam is in that 2013 class, went 32. Kyer Elam in the 2022 class. Is that the one connection you can make about this class? I think so. This class and the 2013 class. But I was going to say Kingsley Enagbare, if the top 4 tackles in this class weren't at such a high level and consensus of who they are and everything, then you're looking at Kingsley in almost any other class, and he's probably the 2nd or 3rd one being taken. Maybe the 1st.
2nd or 3rd edge rusher?
Yeah, edge rusher.
You said tackle.
I don't recall that.
Okay, someone clip it. Luke,
what? No, don't. I said that after. I mean, what else could be said? What are you looking forward to tomorrow?
That I'm looking forward to knowing that I'll actually know what to do. Today I was kind of wandering and hoping, and I ended up finding my place. And I'm going to pay a lot more attention to the one-on-ones for the offensive line, especially on the American side. National, I'll definitely keep an eye on the wide receivers, but I kind of have all I need for the quarterbacks and the tight ends. I'll try and keep an eye on the running backs, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be having my eyes glued on the trenches.
The trenches.
That's where you win football games.
That's where football is won, is what I was going to say, but I talked so slow and you stole it from me. Well, we'll have a couple more minutes here. Yeah, we got a couple more minutes here before I get off the stream. If you have anything else that you wants to talk about real quick, please comment. I'll here, Andrew, one guy on offense and defense that you most want to see tomorrow. Don't go with your guys either. Like, don't say Fedarian because we know that. We know Khalil too. Let's be different.
I'll do one offense and one defense on each team. Defense on the national, because that's just the first thing I see. I want to see if we can see more of Travis Jones. He looked really good today. If we can see that consistency, that would be very nice. And then offensively, I'd like to see Cole Turner have a better day. I think he's a talented tight end. I think he just had an off day. I think he'll get it back tomorrow. Extra pick because I can. Because who's going to stop me? Christian Watson. I want to see him catch a deep ball because he had a chance to today, but it was overthrown. And then American. We'll go American offensive. Gosh, I want to see Malik Willis have a highlight throw. I really do. I want to see him roll out to his left and just throw a deep bomb to Jalen Tolbert.
We all do.
And then defense. Defense is a tough one. It's like Cam Taylor-Britt. I hope he's okay. Alontae Taylor is good. I want to see a little bit more out of Leon O'Neal. You said not to do Fedarian Mathis. We've seen a lot out of Jermaine Johnson. I'll go Kingsley Enagbare. I think he can have one of those highlight pass rush wins.
All right. I'll go with one offense, one defense, just straight up. The entire talent pool. I'll go Jalen Tolbert, Malik, throw him a dime or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Please.
Or 10, because that is a dime.
Okay. And then on defense, I mean, I'll go Jalen Petrie.
Smart.
Thanks.
That is smart.
Chose him over JT Woods.
You could have picked either, and I would have been cool with it.
Yeah, but I've already talked so much about JT Woods. One of my risers, not to brag.
Yep.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We have to do this. We have to do another mock draft, right?
Yes, because so much has changed in one day. You know what? Let's just do a 32.
Yeah.
Let's just do a 32.
You have that time?
Yeah, we can do quick.
Wait, no, I don't want to do another mock draft. It's just gonna be the same at the top. Is there something else that we could do?
We can ban trades. I'll turn off my phone.
Fun though. The trades was funny. No, is there something else we could do?
We can. I don't like big boards right now. I think big boards are kind of useless.
Oh, okay. No. We'll go back to this. Team needs and team talks. This will be our last thing. Were you hearing buzz about certain teams vying after certain players, certain team needs there, all that stuff? This will be the last thing we talk about, then we're out of here.
I didn't hear anything specific about teams, but there are 3 names that I continued to hear, especially during the national practice. Carson Strong, Kenny Pickett, Jerome Ford. Those were the 3 big names I heard a lot of, especially Jerome Ford after the day he had, showing his elite speed, and he was showing more as a pass catcher. I think in this class where we don't really have a consensus top 3, 4, 5 running backs, I mean, Kenneth Walker, he had a great college football season, but how's that going to translate? Isaiah Spiller, Breece Hall, all these guys, like they were great in college, but what are we going to see translate to the NFL? We're seeing a lot of stuff translate already for Jerome Ford. Could he be one of those running backs that's a candidate for day 2 pick? Quite possible. Same thing with a Rashad White. Same thing with a James Cook if he has a stellar pro day at Georgia. But outside of those, I mean, defensively, trying to think. I heard a decent amount from, I mean, obviously Federian Mathis. I could say it 20,000 times.
Really?
I heard people saying he's going to be the biggest riser, not just you and me. Kirby Joseph had a lot of talk for Jalen Petrie as well. Just a lot of stuff for the national team. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah, I mean, remains to be a theme, eh? Yes, I am Justin Turner. I am.
Let's be real.
This
the Americans going to win by 20.
This is why I do on my off days. What do you say?
The Americans going to win by 20, aren't they?
Yeah, probably. That's how it works.
Like
we don't care about the game and the game score either, but like, yeah, that is how it works.
Sam Howell's going to get MVP because he threw 14 touchdowns to Isaiah Likely.
I don't think we'll be comparing players to inanimate objects. No comparisons to Pinocchio for these senior JRA. Yeah, we're not going to compare anyone to Pinocchio. Pinocchio had a big time day today. I don't even know if you know about it, Andrew, but there's a lot of talk about Pinocchio today for whatever reason.
What?
I don't know. You'll see after, man.
I was off Twitter, so I missed everything. If that was apparently
you did.
On Twitter,
it was. I'm really looking forward to things tomorrow because we could actually us at home we could actually watch the practice tomorrow on ESPNU at whatever time it is. I'm not a numbers guy.
Should start at 11:30 if I'm correct. It should start at 11:30 every day. Yeah, 11:30 Central, so 9:30 your time. So you're not watching that.
Oh, I am. I'll be up. I'm an early riser, like some of these
I would
prospects.
Put money that you're not going to be up at 9:30 in the morning your time.
Okay, send 10 to my PayPal when I'm up tweeting off our transfer portal account. Also, other
Liam,
stuff to look out for.
I DM'd you at like 3 o'clock and you didn't answer.
3 p.m.?
Yes, like 1 your time.
That was up. No, I don't know. I'm not numbers, but no, seriously, some stuff to look out for this week. More from us. Again, nightly streams for Senior Bowl recaps. I think we'll be live earlier tomorrow, potentially. Would you corroborate with those reports?
Wait, did you hold up? I was checking.
Yeah, start earlier tomorrow for our stream.
Yeah, of course. The only reason I was late today is because I was at the summit, and
you weren't late today.
Yeah, I was. It's 9:30. I need to be asleep because I have breakfast tomorrow.
This guy's getting breakfast. Get a load of this guy right here. This guy right here.
Sorry, I wake up early enough to eat breakfast.
Dude, I wouldn't eat breakfast even if I woke up on time. But no, seriously, again, 8th time, seriously, other stuff to be on the lookout for this week. Probably more coverage on Twitter on the at T-Portal CFB from 100%. Andrew, who's going to be live down there in Mobile. Can we get video clips? Is that something that can happen, or
we can use clips of practice? But I want to. There's some stuff that I'll talk to you about, but we can definitely get videos out.
All right, yeah, so maybe be on the lookout for that. I know today Malik Willis made somebody fall down with a throw that was so hard. He was throwing 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. So
Justin Verlander is the comp I got for him.
Oh, really? Was that your comp or someone said that? That was your comp?
Scout said it to me.
Legit?
Yeah.
Was it Ben Verlander?
Sure.
It's Justin's brother, man. He's a writer, baseball writer. I
don't care
other
about
stuff.
Baseball,
I know. I don't care about the NBA. Other stuff to look out for.
I don't care about anything besides football. It's my life.
Nightly Senior Bowl recap streams, but on Thursday night, I am also going to do a Shrine Bowl reaction stream. I will be watching the Shrine Bowl live. We'll have a watch party, watch the Shrine Bowl, look for guys like Jared Stearns and Pierre Strong to light it up there. We'll see what Jack Cohn could do, who is not returning to Notre Dame no matter what PFF tweeted out. We'll talk about the Shrine. Yeah, Tampa Bay Trey had a good article on Jack Cohn and how he looked at Shrine Bowl, and PFF College tweeted out saying Tampa Bay Trey highlights some stuff about Jack Cohn and why he's what his return to the Irish means in 2022, and I feel bad for Trevor because that is not what he was saying at all. He's doing draft coverage, and they're talking about him returning to Notre Dame. Like, they scuffed his thing so bad, so I feel bad for him. But on Thursday, I'll be here on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter,
What time is
reacting to the Shrine Bowl, watching it. I think 4 Pacific or 5 Pacific. I don't know. I could be wrong. Let me look it up. You know, I'm not a numbers guy, and I should know.
I'll probably try and watch that. I'll be at the hotel by then.
So then 5 p.m. Pacific. So I guess instead of our Senior Bowl recap stream on Thursday, we could both watch the Shrine Bowl, and we could do that and react to that, and y'all could watch at home, talk about with us who's popping off and all that stuff.
Sorry, I'm looking at Michigan head coaching odds if Jim Harbaugh leaves. And
oh wait, talk about those. That'll be the last thing.
Josh Gaddis plus 300, Bill O'Brien plus 400, and Matt Campbell plus 500.
Urban Meyer minus 600.
I mean, do they have some good pubs in Ann Arbor? Yeah, he could just build one.
That.
I don't know that.
You know that. It's Ann Arbor, big college town. They be partying out there. They have good pubs. Just use brain.
Yeah, and my brain is dead.
Andrew needs to go sleep. He has breakfast tomorrow. We'll see what eggs he eats. You get him scrambled. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have betting odds for that. Okay. Well, no odds now because he has told us.
Or did I just flip the odds so that I can make money on the plus 10,000 scrambled?
Much like the Dolphins in winning and losing games. Interesting. All right, that'll do it for us, though. Thank you for watching this stream. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate all the comments and stuff. Follows if you followed on Twitch. I can't even see that. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. That is very crucial for us. Yeah, thank you. We'll be back tomorrow, earlier time, talking Senior Bowl Day 2. Goodbye.
See you.